They thought they could defeat you. They thought that if they held out a little longer, you would give up. But last night, something changed. And now they're waving the white flag. Subscribe to the channel right away and write 666 in the comments, because let's take a step to prove this mystery to everyone about your superior existence. You felt it, haven't you? That sudden quiet, that eerie silence where there used to be chaos. The attack stopped. The resistance crumbled. And if you're wondering why everything suddenly feels different, why the energy around you is completely transformed, I'm about to show you exactly what happened in the invisible realm while you were sleeping. Because Chosen One, they didn't just retreat. They surrendered completely. And what I'm about to reveal will explain every single strange thing you've experienced in the last 72 hours. For months, maybe even years, you've been under siege. And I'm not talking about the kind of problems normal people face. I'm talking about the relentless, suffocating pressure that only Chosen Ones experience. The kind of spiritual warfare that makes you question your sanity. You've been fighting battles on multiple fronts. Every time you thought you had a breakthrough, something else came crashing down. Relationships turned toxic out of nowhere. Money disappeared faster than it came in. Your health took random hits that doctors couldn't explain. Your mind was under constant attack with intrusive thoughts, doubts, and fears that didn't even sound like your own voice. And the worst part? You couldn't talk to anyone about it. Because how do you explain to someone that you're fighting invisible forces? How do you tell people that you can feel entities trying to break your spirit, drain your energy, and derail your purpose? They'd look at you like you've lost your mind, but you haven't lost anything. You've been in a war, a real one. And wars don't end because you're tired. They end when one side surrenders. Let me paint you a picture of what your life has looked like. You wake up exhausted even after 8 hours of sleep. Your dreams are battlefields. You're constantly fighting, running, defending yourself against things you can't quite remember when you wake up. But you feel it, that heaviness, that spiritual hangover that sits on your chest like a weight. During the day, you're pushing through resistance that feels almost physical. Simple tasks take monumental effort. Your focus gets hijacked every 5 minutes. You start something important, and suddenly you're overwhelmed with the urge to do anything else. Scroll your phone, clean something, take a nap. Anything to avoid the very thing that would move you forward. People around you start acting strange. Friends you've known for years suddenly become cold or critical. Family members who used to support you now question everything you do. Co-workers who were neutral suddenly become obstacles. And romantic interests? They either run away or turn into energy vampires who drain everything good out of you. Your finances become a joke. Money comes in, money goes out, and you're always back at zero. Unexpected expenses pop up like they're on a timer. Your car breaks down. Your phone dies. Medical bills appear. Someone needs to borrow money. The universe seems to have a personal vendetta against your bank account. And through all of this, you're trying to stay positive. You're trying to manifest. You're trying to hold your vibration high. But it's like trying to swim upstream in a river of concrete. Every affirmation feels like a lie. Every meditation gets interrupted. Every attempt to connect with your higher self gets jammed by static. This is what the final stronghold looks like. This is what it feels like when dark forces have dug in and refused to let go. They built their fortress around your life, and they're not leaving without a fight. But here's what you need to understand. Every attack, every obstacle, every moment of resistance wasn't random. It was strategic. These forces knew exactly what they were doing. They studied you. They learned your weaknesses. They found every crack in your armor and exploited it. They attacked your confidence by bringing up every past failure. They attacked your relationships by planting seeds of doubt and suspicion. They attacked your health to slow you down. They attacked your finances to keep you trapped in survival mode. They attacked your sleep to keep you weak. They attacked your peace to keep you distracted. And the goal? To make you give up. To make you believe that this is just how life is for you. To convince you that you're cursed, that you're broken, that you'll never break through to the other side. They wanted you to surrender, to wave your white flag. To accept defeat and live a small, quiet, unremarkable life where you never step into your true power. But you didn't. And that's the problem they didn't anticipate. You kept going, even when it made no sense. Even when every logical part of your brain screamed at you to quit, to give up, to just accept that maybe you're not special after all. But something in you refused. That's the mark of a true chosen one. Not that you never get tired, not that you never doubt, but that even in your darkest moment, even when you're on your knees, even when you've got nothing left, there's a spark in you that won't go out. There's a voice that whispers, "Not yet, not today, keep going." And so you did. You kept waking up. You kept trying. You kept pushing forward, even when you couldn't see 2 feet in front of you. You became a master of fighting battles nobody else could see. You learned to stand your ground in the spiritual realm while still functioning in the physical world. But what you didn't realize is that every day you refused to quit, every moment you chose to keep going, you were wearing them down, not the other way around. They were throwing everything at you because they were desperate. They were running out of ammunition. They were losing ground. Think about it. When someone is winning, they don't need to escalate. They don't need to attack harder. They can sit back and coast. But when someone is losing, when they're desperate, that's when they throw everything they have at you. That's when the attacks become more frequent, more intense, more chaotic. And that's exactly what's been happening to you. The intensity increased because they were losing. Your refusal to break was breaking them. Let me tell you what's been happening in the spiritual realm while you were just trying to survive another day. Every prayer you spoke, even the ones that felt empty, sent shockwaves through the darkness. Every time you chose love over hate, light over darkness, faith over fear, you dismantled another piece of their stronghold. Every tear you cried in private, every moment you fell apart and then pulled yourself back together, every single time you said, "I don't know how, but I'm going to make it through this." You were building something, not just healing yourself. You were constructing a fortress of light that their darkness couldn't penetrate. The thing about spiritual warfare is that it's not about brute force. It's about endurance. It's about who can last longer. It's about who refuses to give up. And chosen one, you outlasted them. There came a moment, probably in the last few days, where something inside you shifted. Maybe you didn't even notice it at first, but you stopped caring about the outcome. You stopped needing to know when things would get better. You stopped trying to control every variable. You just surrendered to your path, not in defeat, but in trust. You said something like, "Whatever happens, happens. I'm done fighting. I'm just going to be who I am and trust that it's enough." And that's when everything changed, because that wasn't weakness. That was the most powerful thing you could have done. You stopped feeding the battle with your fear and anxiety. You stopped giving them your energy. You became unmovable not because you were strong, but because you stopped resisting. You became like water, fluid, adaptable, unbreakable. And when you did that, when you truly let go and surrendered to your higher path, the forces that have been attacking you had nothing left to work with. They need your fear. They need your doubt. They need your resistance. Without it, they're powerless. That's when the stronghold began to crack. Not because you finally did the right ritual or spoke the right words or found the right crystal, but because you became aligned with your true essence. And your true essence is pure light, pure power, pure divine energy. And nothing can stand against that. In the days that followed your surrender, things started happening fast. You probably noticed it. Suddenly, doors that were closed started opening. People who ghosted you reached out. Opportunities appeared out of nowhere. Money started flowing again. Your health improved. Your sleep got better. The intrusive thoughts quieted down. And you might have thought it was just a good streak, a lucky break. But it wasn't luck. It was the beginning of their complete and total surrender. See, dark forces operate on fear and control. They need to dominate. They need to win. And when they realized they couldn't break you, when they saw that you were actually getting stronger through the struggle, they had a choice to make. Keep fighting a losing battle or retreat. And they retreated, but not quietly. When a stronghold falls, it doesn't just fade away. It collapses, and you've been feeling the aftershocks. In the last 72 hours, You probably experienced some strange things. Maybe you had a dream where you were finally victorious, where you defeated something that had been chasing you for years. Or maybe you woke up feeling lighter than you have in months, like someone removed a heavy coat you didn't even know you were wearing. Maybe you looked in the mirror and saw yourself differently, clearer, brighter, more alive. Or maybe people started treating you differently, with more respect, more kindness, more recognition. Like they can sense something has changed about you. That's not your imagination. That's real, because in the spiritual realm, the war is over. They surrendered. They waved the white flag. They acknowledge that they cannot break you, cannot stop you, cannot derail your destiny. And now, everything is about to change. Here's what happened in the moment of their surrender. I need you to really hear this, because this is the turning point of your entire life. There's a council in the spiritual realm. I'm not talking about something religious or tied to any specific belief system. I'm talking about the unseen forces that govern the balance between light and dark. And when a chosen one reaches a certain level of unbreakability, when they prove that no amount of pressure will make them abandon their path, a declaration is made. That declaration happened for you recently, in the last few days, maybe even in the last few hours. The forces that have been assigned to test you, to challenge you, to try to break you, they were given a choice. Continue and face complete annihilation, or surrender and retreat. And they chose surrender. This doesn't mean they're gone forever. This doesn't mean you'll never face challenges again. But it means a kind of suffocating, relentless, coordinated attack you've been under, that's over. The siege has been lifted. The stronghold has fallen. And what's left in its place is a clear path. Not an easy path, but a clear one. You can finally see where you're going. You can finally feel your own energy without it being drained every 2 seconds. You can finally move forward without feeling like you're dragging 1,000 pounds of resistance behind you. The moment of surrender looked like this. You were probably doing something completely normal. Maybe you were making coffee. Maybe you were driving. Maybe you were sitting in silence, just existing. And something in the atmosphere shifted. You might have felt a pop in your ears, or a release in your chest, or suddenly you could breathe deeper than you have in months. That was it. That was the moment, the exact second when the stronghold fell and the declaration of surrender was made. And whether you consciously recognized it or not, your soul knew, your spirit celebrated. Because finally, after all this time, after all these battles, you won, not because you're perfect, not because you did everything right, but because you refused to quit. You refused to abandon yourself. You refuse to let the darkness convince you that you're anything less than the powerful, divine, chosen being that you are. And now the universe is reorganizing itself around this new reality, where you're no longer under attack, where you're no longer blocked, where you're finally free to step into everything you were meant to be. But let me tell you what comes next, because this isn't the end of your story. This is the beginning of a completely new chapter, and you need to be prepared for what's coming. First, you're going to go through a period of integration. Your mind and body need time to adjust to this new reality. You've been in fight or flight mode for so long that peace might actually feel uncomfortable at first. You might find yourself waiting for the other shoe to drop. You might not trust the quiet. That's normal. Give yourself grace. Your nervous system needs time to recalibrate. Second, you're going to start seeing results fast. Things you've been working on for months or years are suddenly going to click into place. Projects that were stalled are going to gain momentum. Relationships that were complicated are going to either heal or end cleanly. Money is going to start flowing in ways that make sense. Your health is going to improve. Your clarity is going to sharpen. It's going to feel like someone turned the difficulty setting on your life from extreme to normal. Third, people are going to notice. And not everyone is going to be happy about it. When you rise, when you step into your power, when you start glow with the energy of someone who just won a war, people notice. And some of them won't like it. Not because of anything you did to them, but because your light exposes their darkness. Your freedom highlights their prison. Your joy reminds them of their misery. Don't dim your light for anyone. Don't shrink to make others comfortable. You didn't fight this hard to play small. You didn't survive this much to hide. Own your victory. Own your power. Own the fact that you're entering a new level of existence. Fourth, you're going to be tested. Not by dark forces this time, but by life. The universe is going to give you opportunities to prove that you've really changed, that you've really leveled up. You're going to face situations that would have destroyed the old you, and you're going to handle them with ease, with grace, with wisdom. And that's when you'll realize how much you've actually grown. Fifth, your gifts are going to amplify. Whatever abilities you had before, they're about to get stronger. If you're intuitive, you're about to become psychic. If you're creative, you're about to become a channel for divine inspiration. If you're a healer, you're about to access frequencies you didn't even know existed. The removal of the stronghold means the removal of the blocks on your spiritual gifts. You're about to operate at a level that will surprise even you. And finally, you're going to step into your purpose. Not the watered-down version, not the safe version. The full, unapologetic, world-changing version of your purpose. The thing you were actually born to do. The reason all of this happened in the first place. Because here's the truth they don't tell you about chosen ones. You're not chosen because you're lucky. You're chosen because you have a job to do, a mission, a purpose that's so important, so world-altering, that the forces of darkness would do everything they can to stop you from reaching it. And they failed. They threw everything at you, and they failed. Which means there's nothing stopping you now. Nothing between you and your destiny except your own choices. And after everything you've been through, after everything you survived, do you really think you're going to stop now? Let me tell you what your life is about to look like. You're going to wake up with energy. Real energy. Not the fake, caffeine-fueled energy you've been surviving on, but the deep, soul-level energy that comes from being aligned with your purpose. You're going to know what to do. The confusion is going to lift. The doubt is going to quiet. You're going to have clarity like you've never experienced before. Your days are going to flow. You're going to be in the right place at the right time. The right people are going to show up. The right opportunities are going to present themselves. And instead of forcing and hustling and grinding, you're going to move with ease, with grace, with the confidence of someone who knows they're divinely guided. Your relationships are going to transform. The people who were draining you are going to exit your life, and it's going to feel like a relief instead of a loss. New people are going to enter. People who see you, who value you, who support your mission. You're going to build a tribe of people who are on your level, who understand you, who celebrate you instead of compete with you. Your finances are going to stabilize and then explode. Money is going to come from expected and unexpected sources. You're going to be compensated for your gifts in ways that feel fair and abundant. You're going to stop living paycheck to paycheck and start building actual wealth. Not just money, but resources, assets, security, freedom. Your health is going to improve dramatically. The mysterious symptoms are going to disappear. Your energy is going to return. Your body is going to feel like yours again. You're going to look in the mirror and see someone vibrant, alive, glowing. Because when the spiritual weight is lifted, the physical body heals. Your creativity is going to explode. Ideas are going to flow through you like a river. You're going to create things that change lives, that inspire people, that leave a mark on this world. Whether it's art, music, writing, business, healing, teaching, whatever your medium is, you're about to operate at a level of genius that will shock you. And most importantly, you're going to feel free, truly free, not just from the attacks, but from the fear, from the doubt, from the need to prove yourself, from the weight of other people's expectations. You're going to step into a version of yourself that's so authentic, so powerful, so unapologetically you, that nothing and no one will ever be able to shake you again. This is what the surrender unlocked. This is what was waiting on the other side of the war. This is your birthright. This is what you fought for. And chosen one, you won. Now, let me explain why this happened now. Why not 6 months ago? Why not next year? Why this exact moment in time? Everything is timing. The universe operates on divine timing, not human timing. And you needed to go through every single thing you went through to become who you needed to be for this next chapter. Every battle trained you. Every loss taught you. Every moment of darkness showed you how bright your light really is. You couldn't have handled this level of power a year ago. You would have abused it or misunderstood it or given it away to people who didn't deserve it. But now you know its value. You know what it cost. You know how to protect it. You know how to use it wisely. The stronghold didn't fall because you got lucky. It fell because you reached a specific frequency, a specific vibration, a specific level of consciousness that made it impossible for lower frequencies to exist in your field. You literally vibrated yourself out of their reach. Think of it like this. Dark forces operate at a low frequency. Fear, doubt, shame, guilt, anger, these are all low vibration emotions. And when you're vibrating at that level, you're a match for their attacks. You're on their playing field. But when you raise your vibration, when you shift into love, faith, gratitude, peace, joy, you leave that playing field entirely. You ascend to a level where they simply cannot reach you. And that's what you did, probably without even realizing it. In the midst of your darkest moments, you chose love. You chose faith. You chose to believe in something bigger than your circumstances. And every time you made that choice, you raised your frequency, bit by bit, day by day, until finally, you were vibrating so high that the stronghold couldn't hold. It shattered because it was built on fear, and you stopped feeding it. This is the secret they don't teach you. You don't defeat darkness by fighting it. You defeat it by becoming so full of light that darkness has nowhere to land. You don't win spiritual wars with weapons. You win them with frequency, with vibration, with the unwavering commitment to choose light, even when surrounded by darkness. And you did that consistently, persistently, even when it seemed pointless, even when it seemed like nothing was changing. You kept choosing light, and the light won. Now, let's talk about what you need to do to protect this victory. Because the surrender is real, but you have to honor it. You have to maintain this new frequency. You have to guard this new level. First, clean your space, literally and energetically. Get rid of anything that carries old energy. Clothes you wore during the dark times. Items people gave you who were part of the problem. Clutter that's been sitting around collecting stagnant energy. Clear it all out. Sage your space. Open windows. Let fresh air and light in. Create a physical environment that matches your new spiritual reality. The universe gave you the victory. Now you have to steward it. You have to protect it. You have to build on it. Don't take it for granted. Don't get comfortable. Stay sharp. Stay aware. Stay committed to your highest path. And remember, this is just the beginning. You think what you've experienced so far is powerful? You think the shifts you're seeing are big? Wait until you see what's coming. Wait until you step fully into your purpose. Wait until you start operating in the gifts that are being unlocked right now. You're about to blow your own mind with what you're capable of. The stronghold fell, but a kingdom is being built. Your kingdom, the life you were always meant to live, the impact you were always meant to make, the version of you that you always knew was inside, but couldn't fully access because you were too busy fighting just survive. Well, the fight is over. Survival mode is done. Now it's time to thrive. Now it's time to create. Now it's time to live at a level that most people will never understand because they've never done the work you've done. They've never survived what you survived. They've never earned what you've earned. So let me bring this all together for you. You've been in a war, a real, intense, suffocating spiritual war that tested every part of you, the forces that were assigned to break you through everything they had at you. And you refused to break. You refused to quit. You refused to surrender. And because of that, because of your unwavering commitment to your path, to your light, to your purpose, they had no choice but to surrender. The stronghold fell. The siege ended. The declaration was made. You won, and now everything changes. Your life is about to transform in ways you can't even imagine right now. The blocks are gone. The resistance is lifted. The path is clear. You're free to step into everything you were meant to be. Everything you've been fighting for is now available to you. But remember, this isn't the end. This is the beginning. The real work starts now. Not the work of survival, but the work of creation, of building, of stepping into your purpose and changing the world in the way only you can. You've been prepared. You've been refined. You've been tested and proven. Now it's time to rise. It's time to claim your victory. It's time to live the life you were born to live. They surrendered. The white flag is waving. The final stronghold fell. And chosen one, you're free. If this hit different, subscribe because what's coming next will change everything for you.